Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we have some Titanfall for you guys. More specifically, a review of the full release version of Titanfall. The game itself's been out for just over 3 weeks now, and during those 3 weeks I've gotten, 50 to 60 hours worth of playtime. I figured now's a good time for a review. Keep in mind before I get this started though, that there's multiple people that reviewed this game on YouTube, multiple articles that are out there for you guys to read. The whole point of a game review video is to talk about some of the positives and the negatives of the game, and then maybe help you come to a decision as to whether or not you, the consumer, want to purchase a game. Right? That's the whole point of a review. I say to you, do not just take my opinion. Watch other people's videos. Get other people's opinions. Get everybody's opinion on the game. Read multiple articles. Determine whether or not this game is worth your money. Don't just take my word for it. Do some research. Right? So I've got multiple categories here that I want to talk about for Titanfall and determine whether or not it will be worth your hard-earned money. And one of these categories is going to be the fun factor. I think we're going to start number one with the fun factor. So Titanfall itself is unlike any other first-person shooter game that I've played. Now, I've played multiple shooters, not too many. Don't let me kid you and say I've played every shooter known to man. But, I've played just ridiculous amounts of Call of Duty. I've played a bunch of Battlefield. I've even dibbled a little bit into Gears of War and Halo. But Titanfall breaks the mold. It is unlike any other first-person shooter game that I've played, and likely that you've played either. It's pretty unique. It's a first-person shooter game that has built-in parkour, wall running, and double jump abilities, and that makes it pretty unique, as well, I guess, as 2,000-ton Titans dropping down from the sky is kind of unique as well, but still, the game itself is unique. There's a very specific feel to this game, and it's very enjoyable for me. I love it. It's very fast. There's many different things you can do throughout the game, and it makes it feel like a very unique experience. Now, let me tell you, I've had a lot of trouble this past year finding a game that I can just get really into. I'm having a lot of difficulty with that. Most AAA titles that come out, I try them out, I'll play them, or I'll play around with it just a little bit, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm bored of this game already. And then I just have a lot of time finding a game to really sink my teeth into and a game that I get really excited about playing. Titanfall has become that game for me. Titanfall has become a game that even when I'm not playing it, I'm kind of like, kind of wish I was playing Titanfall right now. I think that'd be pretty good. It'd be real swell if I were playing Titanfall right now. And that's definitely a plus to this game. Let's start talking about the maps in the game. Now, the maps themselves, they may kind of look Halo-esque. And I can understand where people are coming from when they say the maps themselves are kind of Halo-y. A couple of the maps, they look like they were downright made in Forge World by a good person in Forge World. It's not that they look bad, it's that they really remind me a lot of Halo. The maps themselves, what makes them unique, what I like about the maps, is that they built these maps with all of these parkouring, wall running, double jumping, wherever you want to call it, abilities in mind. Here we're playing on the map Angel City in this video, right? I guarantee you I can get from the C flag to the A flag without ever once touching the ground. The maps themselves are all pretty good, with the exception of one which I really hate, the shipwreck map. I hate it. But for the most part, all the maps are pretty good, and all the maps were built with the parkour elements of this game in mind. All the maps work very well with what Titanfall is. Now, if they were to go ahead and just put in generic maps, right, and then just give you like, okay, so here is some random maps, and we're also going to let you double jump, wall run, and parkour, do all that good stuff, right? It wouldn't work out. It would really not work out that way. But thankfully, that's not the case. All these maps were built with the wall running and double jumping in mind, which makes it so if you're good at the game and you understand like different ways to get different places, you can do some crazy stuff in this game. The maps themselves are pretty awesome in my opinion. One of the things a lot of people are complaining about with Titanfall is the AI. Right? A lot of people don't like the fact that there's AI built into the multiplayer. There's little AI grunts running around. And to those people I say, have you never seen a Titanfall video or played the game? Because they do not negatively impact the game in the slightest. If anything, the AI is a fantastic addition to the game because these maps are relatively big. The same kind of went for Halo for me. When I played Halo, the game itself was kind of slow. It's not like it's Call of Duty where someone can drop 60 kills in a match, right? I never saw anything close to that in Halo. The game was kind of slow. There's portions of, 45 seconds, minute and a half that I didn't even find anybody. That doesn't happen in Titanfall. The maps are they're pretty big. Maps are pretty big. You can find people, but sometimes you know, maybe find people. If you can't find people, there's a bunch of AI running around. You can take them out and have yourself some fun. They can also help out quite a bit. There's the grunts will actually call out if they see an enemy pilot. They can help you capture flags. If you're playing attrition, which attrition is kind of like a team deathmatch based game mode, but kills on different kinds of things award you attrition points, and so it's a good twist on team deathmatch in my opinion. Those grunts are just freaking key to winning in attrition. So the grunts themselves are actually, I think, a refreshing. The word I'm looking for is a breath of fresh air, and I actually like it. I like the fact that there is AI throughout this game. Let's start talking about the weapons. Let's start talking about the weapons here in Titanfall. So the thing I'm most disappointed with the game, I would say, you know, kind of like talk about the good and the bad. The thing I'm really disappointed about with this game is that there aren't a ton of weapons. I mean, there's a decent amount, but there isn't a ton. Alright, and that kind of bothers me a little bit. So the basic weapons you're going to get as primary weapons if you're a pilot. And a pilot is the guy running around on the ground. You know, not when you're in a Titan, but when you're on the ground, you know, with a gun, that's you being a pilot. So you have the fully automatic carbine rifle, right? And then you have a semi-automatic rifle. Then you have a 3-round burst rifle. Then you have 2 different submachine guns. One of them being the compact submachine gun, which is, it just has a giant magazine and a ridiculously high fire rate. So it's really good at close range, but bad anywhere out of that close range. Then there's the car submachine gun, which is basically a submachine gun where the magazine is not giant and the fire rate's not ridiculously fast, but it's also pretty powerful, so it's like a good medium range submachine gun. There's a shotgun, which you're seeing me use in this video, which is just freaking, it's good. It's the only shotgun in the game, but it's pretty good. I liked it a lot. There's a Spitfire light machine gun, which is pretty unique because you think of most FPS games, if you start shooting, the recoil is pretty low. And then the longer you hold down the trigger, the recoil goes up, right? Well, the Spitfire LMGs is the opposite. It starts off with lots of recoil, ridiculous amounts of recoil as you shoot it, and then the longer you hold down the trigger, the more accurate your aim becomes. So that's pretty unique. There's also 2 different kinds of sniper rifles. One of them is like a one-shot kill all the time. But I think the bullet velocity is pretty bad, and like you're going to have to really lead people, and it's kind of hard to hit somebody that's moving, and in Titanfall everybody's moving, so it's a weapon that I think I've maybe gotten killed by once in my 60 hours of playtime. People just don't snipe in this game. There's also a DMR, and the DMR is basically a semi-automatic sniper. Most cases it'll take 2 shots to kill. Sometimes if you get to kind of extreme ranges, it can take 3, sometimes 4, depending on what you're trying to hit. So those snipers are pretty bad. And then there's, of course, the Smart Pistol, which is also a primary weapon, which is fantastically unique. I love the Smart Pistol. It's unlike anything I've seen in first-person shooter games before, therefore I really like it. But those are all your primary weapons. Now, of course, Titans have their own exclusive primary weapons, but for the most part, that's what you got. That's what you're working with. I would like to see in the future more weapons added via DLC. Now, there's already DLC confirmed for this game. All right, there's definitely going to be some downloadable content coming, but I don't believe any of them are going to be extra Titans. So what are we going to get? Just maps? I hope not. I hope that one of the DLC packs, it comes with like, 4 or 5 new primary weapons. That would definitely add some variety to the game. I think overall it would benefit Titanfall as a whole. That would definitely be a good thing. The Titans themselves, we're not yet to talk about Titans. When it's in Titanfall, let's start talking about Titans. So there's 3 different kinds of Titans in the game. This ties into the campaign, which this game is notorious for not having a campaign. So there is a campaign in Titanfall, but it's very bad, right? There's no single player in the game. It's a multiplayer campaign that's ridiculously hard to follow, and there's really no good story to it. It's pretty bad, right? So how you unlock different kinds of Titans. You start off with the Atlas Titan, and if you unlock the Ogre or the Strider, you have to complete the campaign. So for unlock the Strider, you have to complete the campaign as either the Militia or the IMC, the 2 fighting forces in the world of Titanfall, right? You have to complete the campaign, which essentially just breaks down to playing 10 or so matches. That's all it is. It's multiplayer matches on different maps, but in this specific campaign mode, they'll have people talking and there'll be some kind of cutscenes or something before the match starts, and then you and all your friends go face other people and their friends, and it's actually just a multiplayer match. It's pretty weird. I've never seen anything like that, but it's not very good. It's basically multiplayer, but they try and add a little bit of voice acting to it, and they try and tell you a story, and the story basically, as I can tell, this is not really a spoiler, is the IMC is basically Earth. Right, the IMC is like Earth and its surrounding cores, and we travel throughout the galaxy, and then we try and take like natural resources from different kinds of worlds and whatnot, and the people that we try taking the natural resources from are the militia, and they're fighting back. They're like, no, you're not taking our resources, now we're at war. that's like the whole like concept of Titanfall. That's what's happening in the world from how I can tell it. It's actually really hard to follow what exactly is happening throughout that campaign, because you're playing multiplayer while they're talking to you like over the intercom, and it's like, I'm not even listening. What did you just say? And it's like, it's very bad, right? But that's how you do it. You know, you complete the campaign once, which, like I said, is like 10 or so multiplayer matches. You complete that once as either the IMC or the militia, you unlock the Strider. Then you complete the campaign again, which once again is like 10 more multiplayer matches. Then you can unlock the Ogre. That's how you unlock the 3 Titans. There are 3 total Titans in Titanfall. One of them is the Ogre, which is a very slow but super high health Titan. Then there's the Atlas, which is kind of a hybrid. It's got decent health, decent speed. Then there's the Strider, which has all the speed but none of the health. Right, so there's 3 different kinds of Titans. There's 5 or so different primary Titan weapons. The Titan weapons are fun. I've used just about all of them so far because they're kind of forcing me to as I level up, and we'll be talking about that here coming up. But I like most of the Titan weapons, and I like all 3 of the Titans. I have a bit of a... I like the Ogre more. I don't need to move around very fast. I just want all the health, and so I definitely like that. Some people are kind of disappointed in the fact that there's only 3 Titans, but me, I'm not really disappointed that there is 3 Titans in the game, because each Titan serves its own specific purpose. If you were to do anything more than what they have right now, I think it would really be just kind of drowning it out, you know? Like, what would the point of that be? Like, what other Titans could there be? You have a very fast one with low health, a really slow one with lots of health, and then a kind of in-between Titan. Like, what else could there be? You know, maybe you guys have some suggestions. I really couldn't think of any other possible Titans to have in Titanfall besides those 3. So I definitely like the Titans. You may be turned off by the fact there's only 3 of them, but for the most part, I think the Titans are pretty good. I like that they're not ridiculously overpowered. Like, a lot of people thought going into Titanfall, I was like, wait a minute. So you can kill people that are just running around on the ground like normal soldiers, but you're in a Titan? It's like, yeah, that's how it goes. But Titans are actually not that... They're pretty easy to take out. You know, I've taken out hundreds of them. They're not very hard to take out. And if you want to do well in the Titan, you kind of have to get used to the Titan. At first, when I first started playing this game back when it was in beta mode, which that beta was a complete sham. That was more of a demo than a beta, because I don't think anything has actually changed from the game from that beta compared to now. I think it was just like a free demo that they let people into. But from the Titanfall quote-unquote beta, you know, at first I didn't think I was going to like the Titans. My first game in, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to like these Titans at all, in fact, and because I did really bad at them. But the more you play, the better you get the Titan, then you can become better and do better and have fun with that. It works out. Definitely works out. The unlocking system, like, how is Titanfall going to, take your money and keep you coming back for more? One of the things they've done is they implemented a prestige mode into this game. Now, this is prestige mode similar to Call of Duty. I'm using the Call of Duty example here. You know, it basically, you hit max rank in Titanfall, right? And then, well, which is level 50, by the way. You hit level 50, then you can regenerate. Enter a new generation, which generation is their version of a prestige mode, right? And after you enter second generation, you now have regeneration requirements, which is pretty unique, I would definitely say. So, not only do you have to go from level 1 to 50, but in order to be able to regenerate, you also need to be able to complete 5 different challenges that they give you. Now, for example, some of these challenges I've had to complete are get 50 kills with satchel charges, get 50 kills with the DMR longbow sniper rifle. One of them was take out 50 enemy Titans while using the quad rocket. Right? They have a bunch of different challenges that definitely take you out of your comfort zone. They make you use different primary weapons, different pieces of equipment, different Titan weapons than you would usually use. Like, for me, I love the chain gun. The chain gun is my favorite Titan weapon, and I would only use the chain gun given the opportunity. But as I keep trying to regenerate and enter new generations in this game, they're forcing me every new generation to take out 50 Titans and get 200 kills with all these different Titan weapons. It's like, I just want to use my chain gun. So I can see how some people wouldn't like that, but I kind of like it. It's pretty unique. I don't mind it. Definitely new. Definitely something they're trying to do. Like I said, there's DLC already confirmed for this game. That what we're going to get with this DLC, we really don't know. Maybe new weapons, maybe new Titans, maybe new maps. Who knows? It's all really under wraps, but there is, I think, 3 pieces of DLC confirmed to be coming out for Titanfall. So they're going to try and have some longevity to the game. But for a lot of people, that's the big downside of Titanfall, is that, the longevity of the game isn't really there. There's not too many weapons. There's not too many Titans. You're really just kind of running on rails, and you're not doing anything new. It's kind of like the same time. It's the same experience every time you play it. That's a common complaint about the game, but it's not exactly my complaint about the game. I think the game is still very fun and very unique. I will say this, if you plan on playing this game, come into it knowing that it's actually a relatively competitive game, and if you come in here just playing by yourself, you may have some issues. Now I'm going to use these 2 different games as an example. In Call of Duty, if you're a really good player and you're facing a full party on the other team, you have a chance to win that game. In Battlefield, if there's a couple squads of really good players and you're playing by yourself and your team doesn't have many good squads, you're not going to win that game. And Titanfall is exactly the same. If you go into Titanfall and there's a party of 3, 4, 5, or even 6 on the other team and you're playing by yourself with all other people are also playing by themselves, then good luck winning that match, because it's not just a matter of you being a really good pilot and you having ridiculously good reflexes and gun skill and stuff. There's also Titans that you gotta take out, and that will make it a bit more difficult. It makes it definitely challenging. It definitely rewards people that play in parties. So Titanfall, that's something I've experienced. Now, not every game, not every game you're gonna be facing a party, but I'm just saying that when you are facing a party, it's gonna be a lot more difficult to win. A lot more difficult to win. But overall, I'm going to say Titanfall is a very fun game. I'm going to say Titanfall is a fantastic game. It's definitely worth checking out. You guys have seen my review of the game. You guys know I like it. You guys know overall I like this game a lot, and I recommend you guys trying it out. Watch other people's videos. Watch their reviews. Read some articles. Read IGN. Well, maybe not IGN because they're not exactly unbiased, but get information. Get information about Titanfall. Watch other videos. Read some articles. If you have the ability to rent the game. Now, renting is fantastic. Why don't people talk about renting anymore? Is it because there's no places to rent? Like, around here, we have a chain of stores called Family Video. And I can go in there and I can rent games. Now, me personally, I'm a YouTuber. It's not the biggest deal. I mean, video games are my livelihood. I play a lot of them. It doesn't bother me to buy a game. I'll buy a game not even knowing whether or not I'm going to like the game. Right? And that's how I can make videos like this and say, hey, you know what? I went into this. I didn't really have the biggest expectations, but I like the game. That's what I can do with this. So if you have the ability to rent the game, rent it, try it out. It's all multiplayer. There's no single player at all in this game. So keep that in mind. But overall, I like the game. But like I said, watch the videos, read some articles, maybe rent it if possible. But I would say, for me, it gets my stamp of approval. I like the game a lot. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.